Hello, folks. This is Joxo Luxor. Some of you know that I am a Jnana Guru. I was given Shaktipat initiation by Guru Maya Shidvalasananda of the Siddha Yoga Order. My spiritual name is Shiva Solomon, and sometimes Shivestus Solomonicus. What I want to talk to you about today is the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Many people think that yoga is basically just, stretching your butt. And that's not the case. If you actually study the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, you find that the purpose is to remove every logical fallacy and cognitive bias that a person can have. Jnana Yoga, and I am a Jnana Guru, is essentially philosophy. It's the philosophical death, the removing of ego consciousness, which is what samadhi is. Now, throughout your life, you develop a sense of self. You are characterized to yourself by the events that happen to you and the way people react to you. When people see you, what kind of faces do they make? How do they speak to you? How do they treat you? This creates your ego consciousness or your false sense of self. There is another strategy that is used by people that are permanently trapped in ego consciousness, or perhaps they have sworn allegiance to ego consciousness. I refer to these people as psychopaths. Sometimes I refer to them humorously as opposite landers. People trapped in ego consciousness have no ability to evaluate anybody else. They project their emotional and intellectual diseases on everybody else around them. Now, what's fascinating is that these psychopaths, I refer to them as over-coddled children because they were the favored child. They were raised in an environment, usually, in which an authority figure was over-coddling and created an environment in which the psychopath could manipulate them and lie to them. So that the psychopath and was actually rewarded for lying to the authority figure. So what happens to this kind of psyche when it's allowed to grow in this environment, this enabling and over-coddling environment, is that they develop a strategy. And sometimes they pick up the strategy from their parents who used it on the child that they didn't like. And the strategy is characterizing you falsely to yourself as a form of psychological warfare or emotional abuse, which means forcing the frame that you are something that you aren't, but that you are doing something that you aren't doing. And this is done through histrionic fits, emotional explosions, exaggerations, lies, etc. So beware of that as you go from day to day. People characterizing you falsely to yourself. First and foremost, know yourself accurately. Constantly strive to remove ego consciousness or a false sense of self from yourself. And then be constantly aware of people trying to characterize you falsely to yourself. Namaskaram.